Welcome to Perth.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time on 882 6PR. Now, again, I've been watching Star Trek for a very long time, since the start, with Deep Space Nine. First time I saw your name on the credits, I was thinking, was it Nana or Nana? But when I learned it was Nana, I thought it was very unique, I liked it. Tell us the background behind your first name.
My mother was this bohemian who named us all the children very interesting and bizarre names, but then her mother's name was Calliope. So you start there and you know how Nana comes about. But the way it's said, that started with Star Trek on the set with Avery Brooks, because when I first met him, he said, "How do you like your name pronounced?" And I never asked myself that. I was used to Nana, Nan, whatever, and it was like I'll answer to all of it. But when he asked me that, I had this image of my mother who had a French accent saying Nana, and I went, I like it that way. And within 2 weeks, everyone on the set was calling me Nana. He made sure of it. Very interesting.
Great story.
Very interesting guy.
Is this your first time to Australia?
No, it isn't.
How many times have you been here before?
I've been here one time before, and I was very pregnant. So it was 18 years ago. Yeah, I was pregnant to Django, Alexander Siddig's and my son, and I was miserable most of the time. And I was in the most glorious places in the world. It was just so beautiful, and I was just so physically exhausted, working, traveling, and being almost ready to give birth. It was a little too much.
Well, I actually had that in my rundown, but I might well skip to that because you brought it up. I thought the way that they work your pregnancy, because you're really pregnant, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
You're obviously very happy with that, and it was fantastic.
It was at a time where you never knew how that was going to happen. If you said, I'm having a baby, they may write you out. I didn't know what was going to happen. And
there would have been uproar from the DS9 fans.
But, you never know. The way we sign 6-year contracts, so there's not supposed to be a renegotiation at the end of the year, but there always was. And Paramount's response to me renegotiating, and to all of us really, was there could be a shuttlecraft accident at any moment. So that was meant to put us in our place, so that it was a shuttlecraft accident, which just made it that much sweeter.
Deep Space Nine was the only Star Trek series that was based on not on a starship. So did you find that made your series unique and different compared to the rest?
I think it made it difficult for the fan base to accept, because they wanted us out there.
Wormhole helped with that, though.
Yeah, the wormhole helped a lot, but every journey outward is a journey inward. I think that's Joseph Campbell, and our journeys were interrelationship based, and I think we went just as many places.
Kira Nerys, probably the toughest female character, probably only rivaled by 7 of 9 from Voyager, but you knew right from the start you were Kira, and you walked into that audition. I heard it was a very quick audition, faster than some of the commercials you actually auditioned for before that. Why was that? Why were you, so sure that you were Kira?
It was interesting. I had just had a baby, and I had read so many. I've been in so many pilots, so many guest starring roles. I was and am a working actor, which is a journeyman actor. And I read the script without really understanding that it was Star Trek. Without really understanding, I thought maybe it was a TV movie. They did a lot of TV movies in those days. And it was the fact that I didn't know whether this was a man or a woman, the fact that it didn't matter. She was this creature with real desires and faults and things she was coming up against in herself. I was crazy to play her.
How long did it take for you to get used to the nose? The
Um,
Bajora nose.
I was so lucky that that's all I had to put on. You didn't dare complain about a Bajoran nose when you were anywhere around Rene Aubergenois or any of the others who were wearing full-on prosthetics. That they had the toughest time.
Quark.
Quark, yeah, Armin was a hero, really, having all of that on. But Rene as well. It was very, very tough.
You were very close to him on the show as well, and they sort of added a romantic element to that. How did you feel about that at the time, and were you happy with the way it ended?
At the time, I wasn't happy because I loved all the TV rules I was breaking, we were breaking, the lovely shades of gray in the show. And I felt like, oh no, this is typical. Best friends become lovers. So I was against it for that reason.
Yeah.
But it was truthful. It was very, very truthful. And certainly truthful on the show because Sadig and I were best friends and became lovers. So how could I fight that?
Very interesting situation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Some of my favourite DS9 episodes were the alternate universe episodes. I thought they were so clever, but you got to play a real evil Kira, and I love that black number you used to wear in those episodes as well. It was fantastic. But, did you have a lot of fun playing that alternate Kira?
I didn't have fun per se. I was so busy trying to not go over the line and become, just kind of laughable. I wanted her to be a big character, but I also wanted her to have a real sting, So I was really concentrating very hard on maintaining that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a tough one because there was so many DS9 episodes made. Did you have any episodes or that really stood out for you that you really remember or like to watch over?
It happened early in the run, and I think it was the first time acting that a script that opened my perception of something, and really made me see it through new eyes, not just mine and not just the characters, but something else entirely. And that show was Duet.
Okay.
And I thought it was going to be a disaster. It was made as a bottle show, which means they'd spent a lot on special effects. So this one was going to be very simple, just two characters in one set, not much else going on. And it turned out to be my favorite of all.
There was one particular episode in the final season where you all got to play baseball against the Balkans. That's something that it was just a feel-good episode, just took a break from the normal storyline, and it was just a feel-good episode. Was it fun out there getting the Deep Space Niners?
No!
You got slid into, and I'm just wondering, that looked like a pretty good stunt.
You know what? They had to hire someone to come and teach me not only how to throw a ball, but how to hit. I was the person who was chosen last as a child to be on any team. I'm so unathletic. I was always a dancer. So I didn't know how to play anything. And I think that they were dreading the fact that we were going to be there all day because in the script I was supposed to hit the ball. So they thought, we're going to be here all day while she tries to hit this ball.
End up bunting instead.
Yeah. But I did it on the first take.
Really?
I felt like a hero. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, apart from DS9, you've had a large different roles on Family Guy. Now, how did you get involved with that? Because it's very funny characters you do.
Seth is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Seth MacFarlane do the voices.
I've never seen him do only on when he roasts people. I've seen him roast William Shatner and Charlie Sheen. So
and he goes from one voice to the other with this facility that is astonishing.
Yeah.
And that was, first of all, he's a huge DS9 fan. So I think that's, we've all done it. But he liked playing with me and just kind of has had me in and out. I find some of it really offensive. My husband adores it. My husband Matthew adores the show, and I remember we were watching it in bed one night, and it was a Christmas episode, And I said, okay, that's it. I can't, that was so disgusting. Santa's killed and the mother's killed, it's horrible. And as I'm ranting, the credits are rolling by and Matthew says, nah, the mother was you. You were in that episode. I was like, damn.
Couldn't remember.
Damn. Well, I guess I'll keep watching.
That's even fun. Now, I said I've asked you a lot of DS9 questions. You probably asked more DS9 questions than anything else, but you have appeared on other shows and other series. I even saw you in as Pamela Voorhees in a quick Friday the 13th. I was like, oh, there's Kira.
Do you know something interesting? And I don't think anyone, is the first time I'm saying it, that was not my voice. That was not my performance. The person was me. But my manager at the time did not tell me that they needed me for, of course that would have to be looped. We were in the pouring rain in the middle of the night with all these things going on. And so, of course, they didn't know how else to get a hold of me. They just had a voice person. That was not the performance I did or wanted to do. What I wanted her to be was just totally normal. Just totally sensible.
You've got me curious now. I'm going to go and get Friday the 13th and just have a look at that.
Yeah, not my voice.
Yeah, I remember you were in the rain, so yeah. Now, you've done a few of these conventions before. What's the weirdest thing that anyone's ever asked you or asked you to sign?
The weirdest thing I ever signed, and I'm kind of shocked I did it, was a 6-month-old baby.
So I knew there'd be something because some of these people that dress up and they sort of freak me out as well. That's the reason why I asked them.
Oh, no,
I knew
not
there'd be
me.
something out there.
Not me. They'll be dressed up, but then you find out that they're,
Normal people.
not even normal. They're like brilliant. They're cutting edge guys and women. They're in the Navy or flying airplanes, and it's fun. And I know that some people look at them and go, what the heck? And that's maybe 1%. The rest of the people are really interesting. And I've known some of them for 20 years and we're all in contact.
Well, 6-month baby is definitely strange. Any weird questions? We get a lot of them.
What's weird? I don't know what's weird. The only weird thing is thinking that I would know what the name of the episode is or, Although when I watch the episodes, I can watch a scene and know exactly what was going on off stage, what I was doing, what was going on. I have instant recall in that way. But names and no.
It's a weird thing because it's played on Sci-Fi Channel and 1HD in Australia every single week. And you always tune in to find out what episodes, if there's a favourite out there. So, said you're seen on TV nearly every single, somewhere around the world. It's always playing, isn't it?
It's great, and I think people are actually getting the show more now than they did at the time.
At the start.
Which we thought would happen, and it did. It wears very, very well.
Mm.
I'm actually there are two things going around the world doing this that I love. One is eating the food of the area. I never really get to see that much of the terrain. The food and the people. And I love Australians, and these 2 next weekends, I'm so looking forward to, this weekend here in Perth, and then next weekend in Adelaide. That's the ginger of these trips for me.
You have fun, but it's not as good as Perth. Is there anything else out there that you're doing that we should look out for that in the future?
Independent films that sometimes pop up and you never know when they're going to. It's very different than doing TV. So there's some films that I've done and things like that, and I want to do stage again. So maybe that'll happen now that I'm back in New York.
I could, sit here and talk all day with Star Trek with you, but I know you've got other things to do, and you've got a big weekend plan of Oz Comic Con in Perth. So again, I'd like to thank you for your time. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I look forward to catching up with you over the weekend as well.
My absolute pleasure. I'll see you there.